right now, Republicans feel like they're well situated on the side of more voters than less. And I think you'll see them continue to feel like they're in a good position. I think the reason Democrats are in the position they're in is because they're reacting to the base of their party, and they're pushing policies that I think some mainstream, more moderate or conservative Democrats can't get their arms around. Elections have consequences, and I assume, when Republicans have a good election in November, their base will push the party into positions that its moderate Republicans don't feel comfortable with. And we're just going to go back and forth. And because the media loves covering these fights, they draw a lot of attention to these issues. And, we can get into a whole conversation about how messed up the system is with, the stuff you guys cover, how you cover, not you personally, but the stuff media covers, how they cover it, what generates clicks, what generates attention, what generates, awards for, writing, and what members of Congress react to and what politicians react to, as far as, from small dollar donations to, media hits to, getting reelected, to feeling like they're comfortable in their political positions. So unfortunately, it's probably not going to calm down. It'll just keep getting hotter and hotter is my prediction. And Sam, it's a shame, but it's the system.
Sam, you mentioned that Democrats are pushing these policies and elections have consequences. I'm struck by the fact that we're talking about Florida, where there was a $15 minimum wage, for example, on the ballot in 2020. It passed overwhelmingly with 60% of the vote. And that election does not have consequences because Republicans in the state have been trying to push back against that ballot initiative ever since then. We have what we're talking about now is bills being put forward by Republicans, not Democrats, to create these laws. These are pre-existing advisory guidelines that have existed that don't have any binding effect, just guidelines for teachers of how to handle situations if a student comes to them with gender identity questions or issues. Is it really fair to characterize this as the Democrats launching a culture war when so many of these guidelines in the first place were a response to the fact that so many on the left and liberals and even moderates were concerned that sex education was being kept out of school, that there was a lot of influence from the religious right in school historically, and only just now have we had a little bit of a social shift where some of the more prevailing liberal norms are making it into the classroom. What is the chicken and the egg of this here?
I think more Republicans or more conservative voters are moving to the state, giving it, a redder hue than it has had in the past. And I do think that because there's more Republicans in the state and these issues are getting the attention for the reasons we talked about, it won't stop. And again, who decides who the bully is up to, each individual. And I think there's a lot more people, at least in Florida right now, that feel like this culture that, Democrats side with is unfair to these parents who feel helpless and don't want their kindergartners through third graders learning about these issues or even talking about them. And I just think there's more voters that feel that way than don't. So I think Republicans think it's A, a winning issue, B, an issue that they actually care about, and C, there's more Republicans in the state of Florida than there ever have been, and the state's trending redder. So, I guess I don't know how to answer the question any other way than I just think there's more Republicans in Florida